I'm now being joined on the news by an African Affairs Analyst, Paul Ejime, to discuss these developing the latest stories as well, emanating all the way from Burkina Faso. Well, Paul Ejime, the leader of the coup in Burkina Faso, says the country will only return to constitutional order when conditions are right. Let me ask you this. What do you think about that?
So, thank you for having me. I think you say like Mali, like Guinea, and now like Burkina Faso. They are used like, it's like they are using the same playbook. They will tell you that have come to restore. Actually, the names they give to their the council is restoration and the safeguard of of sovereignty and all that, and of the people. So they will come. They will tell you they have come for rescue mission, and so it will now depend on what the people now. But they didn't have the people's mandate to take over. That is the issue. But they are now saying they will consult with the people to do the needful. That is to get back to the barracks, because the military really, their role is to govern. It is to protect life and property and the territorial integrity of any nation. But the political leadership in Africa, particularly in West Africa, they are now giving them the excuse. Remember that some in the 80s and 90s, the region was defined by these military dictatorships. I hope that West Africa is not going back. It's unfortunate. When they are supposed to be consolidating on democracy, we find all this. And the cause is not, the reason is not far-fetched. There's a slide back, a threat and regression of democracy because of bad governance, because of corruption, because of, the way that the leaders have conducted themselves. And particularly in French West Africa, there's also a perception that perhaps they are pandering to Paris and not doing the bid, not considering the interests of their people. You find soldiers and civilians being killed by these terrorists. And France has been there since 2013, to help them. And even in Mali, the Sahel, where this is happening, they have about 15,000 UN forces. And yet they've not been able to put an end to this, gruesome and incessant killings of people and insecurity. People cannot go to the farm. Even in Nigeria, you have Boko Haram and everywhere. So the same thing is happening in Burkina Faso. So they said, the military now came and said they cannot take it anymore, that President Kabore had promised to deal with this, but he hasn't done so. The same thing in Mali, and so on and so forth. Beyond there is the issue of third time or leaders trying to hang on to power. So there's a lot of imponderables and forces, both local and external. France, for instance, you don't know where they stand. For instance, Damiba, according to diplomatic sources, had asked President Kabore that Burkina Faso should approach Russia for assistance, because French presence has not helped, but he rejected it. Perhaps that is why he was removed. But the question will now be, has Africa now become a battleground for...
All right. Permit me to come in there, Paul Ejime. Some have accused ECOWAS of becoming dysfunctional in the discharge of its duties. Do you agree to this as well? All right, Paul, if you're still there.
What?
All right, so yes, I'm asking, some have accused ECOWAS of becoming dysfunctional in the discharge of its duties. Do you agree to this?
No, I think you will now see ECOWAS, I hope it should not make itself irrelevant, because the way they have gone about it, I think they need to change their strategy. They have to assert the independence. They say it's an ECOWAS of people. But look at what they have done to Mali. Granted that military rule is an aberration, But you now have to sit down and look at the strategy you are using so that you don't hurt millions of people. You don't make it punitive. The sanctions you are bringing to force these people to return to civilian rule. You have to engage in a strategic manner, in a structured manner that will be seen that the people on the ground support what you are doing. From now, what is happening now is that on the ground, the military juntas appear to be having the support. And then compared to vis-a-vis what you anti-French and then anti-ECOWAS sentiments. That shouldn't be the case. It's perceived that ECOWAS is not doing the bid of West Africa. It is following France. And that is not good for an organization that has, it's now 46 years, and has been able to manage conflicts in the past with success. Liberia, Sierra Leone, and other places. Why can't they use the same? They don't need to reinvent the wheel. There are protocols, instruments they can use, but they have not been. I don't see much commitment. I don't see any honesty. They haven't come to the table as good faith actors. They, like the junta, are just bad faith actors, and that is the thing. Until they all realize and come to the realization that it is for the people. Don't punish a few, the majority because you want to correct, because you are going after a few.
All right.
So,
Paul, let me also ask you this quickly. This is the third coup in months in West Africa, the third. Do you think this pattern could actually unleash more insecurity in the sub-region?
Definitely, and that is the fear of all, of those who believe in democracy, and the reason that the leaders must not give excuse for more military takeover, because more could come. If now these people will be emboldened, you have what you call the contagion effect. Once they see they can succeed here, I hope that before the year runs out, that ECOWAS, the number of those under military rule will not increase. And that is by ensuring that you respect the Constitution, respect human rights and rule of law, govern according to all these precepts of democracy, and deliver on the dividends of democracy. Don't be seen to be acting for self or for a clique or for your religion or for your family, or be corrupt. These are things, or be seen to be supporting foreign forces. France also has to clearly come out and define its define its presence in its former African colonies.
Thank you so much, Paul Ejime. I want to say thank you so much. You've been such a great sport being here with us on the news now. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.